Stephen Nichols, 51.
I'm pretty down the middle of the road.
I guess I'd say on balance I'm moderate. I'm socially liberal and fiscally conservative, so I'm a little all over the map.
I'm Episcopalian.
I'm going to pass that question.
Okay.
Love, death do you part, partners, friends.
I'd say there's a couple of parts to that. There's the personal love and commitment, and there's the legal contract. The personal love and commitment a lot of times can even lead to, in some places, a legal common law marriage, but they're not exactly the same thing. I think two people can have a lifelong commitment without the legal contract, but I don't care what the folks of my generation said and say. I think it does make a difference when you have the ceremony and the contract and all the legal trappings. I don't think that's just a sheet of paper. I think that formalizes it. So a lot of people will say, well, that's not really important. But it is. Both parts are important.
Recently, same-sex marriage laws in North Carolina have been lifted, which means that the prior ban on them has been revoked. What do you guys think about this?
I think it's fine.
That the ban has been lifted.
Yes.
It's ridiculous that it was there in the first place. It's embarrassing that we had that in the first place, and it's a relief that we're not as silly as we were, at least in that area.
It's nobody's business.
Alrighty, well, in many instances, the word gay is used as an insult. Most of the time it's online when people say, oh, that's gay. They use it sort of like it's synonymous for stupid or something negative with a negative connotation. Do you guys think this is right, or what do you guys think about that?
I haven't thought about it, actually.
I don't allow the kids in my class to use it as a synonym for bad. I've even had gay people tell me that they use it that way, that it's not as offensive, as some words that also mean homosexual. But I think it's just a bad habit to get into to equate gay and bad. There's enough homophobia here without encouraging it in that way. So I don't use it that way, and I don't allow its use in my classroom.
All right. And this is going to be our last question for tonight. After all this has been discussed and this prompt has been introduced into y'all's mind, consider this. Do you guys think we really have the right to tell others what they choose to do with their life is right or wrong and control them with our opinion about the subject?
I've never thought that we had that right. As long as it doesn't hurt me, then I don't see the problem with it.
The way you phrase the question makes it a big question. You've tacked it onto the tail end of a series of questions about gay rights, and I don't think people have the right to nose into other people's bedrooms. People's sexual preferences should not be anybody's business. But what you said was, do we have the right to tell each other what to do? It's a lot bigger thing, because we do. We do that all the time in many areas of life. And there are areas where all of us think that it's right to tell other people what to do and what not to do. On both sides. Liberals believe it's right to tell people to do some things and wrong to tell people to do some. Conservatives, you can pretty much flip it. So we all do. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. I mean, we all have reasons to want to tell people to do some things, and feel that we're right in doing so, whereas somebody on the other side of the aisle would say that it's wrong. I heard on the news today, as a matter of fact, that one of the state legislators was introducing a bill to let state magistrates decline to perform gay weddings because if that was against their religious beliefs, said it was religious discrimination to force somebody to go against their religious beliefs. And I mean, that has a ring of reasonable about it. But then on the other side of that, you're a government employee, you're paid by the taxpayers to perform a service of the government, and government servants should not have the right to decide if they're going to provide those services or not based on their personal religious beliefs. So, I don't know, I don't think it's black and white. I don't think you can always say this or always say that. It's complicated, and you're probably not going to find any two people who are at exactly the same place on the spectrum there. So I'm not gonna answer that with a yes or a no. I think it's more complicated than that.
All right. Thank you guys for your time.